what is shear wall and how we can construct it correctly in our project. Let's take a look. You're witnessing one of the rare kinds of shear walls. It's like L, the letter L. Why this shear wall is rare? Let's see. We started from here. We have double rebar. Here we have coupling. It is truly the best way to connect longitudinal rebars, because this distance, this space is so important. It's 60 centimeter. Actually, the height of coupling should not be in the one line. It should be up and down. And they have done it well. In this shear wall we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 boundary elements. Boundary element areas. The boundary element area is like columns. The rules is like column, because the start and the end of the shear wall should resist more forces, should resist more against earthquake forces, because the tensions at the start and the end of the shear wall is so much more than the middle area. This is the middle area. We have single-legged stirrups here. One by one we have single stirrup. We have it in the ACI. As you see, we have this longitudinal rebar has been latched by this hook. Here we don't have. Here we have single leg. As you see, one by one we should have transverse rebars. Actually, single leg rebar is like transverse rebars. It is for shear forces. It's a huge mistake here. It should not happen at all. Be careful in your project. As you see, it's a huge mistake. This is the middle of the shear wall. It's not boundary element, so the percentage of longitudinal and transverse rebars is lower than boundary elements. In boundary elements, the percentage of longitudinal and transverse rebars is so much more than the middle of the shear wall. As you're watching, this area is not boundary element, so the percentage of longitudinal and transverse rebars is so much lower than boundary elements. And this is transverse rebars. It is finished there. Started from here and finished there. The whole of the shear wall has hooks. What is hook? You see the full view. We have it columns. We have it in columns. In shear walls too. The size of the longitudinal rebars is 32 here in boundary element. It is massive. And here the size of the longitudinal rebars in the middle of the shear wall is 20. 32, 20. So imagine how strong is boundary element. And these rebars are dowels for ramp of the stairs. At the end of the video, I will show this area on AutoCAD, the detail of the shear wall and the plan, the upper plan, how it is placed in the project. And here we have another shear wall, boundary element, the middle of the shear wall and boundary element. The start and the end of the shear wall, we have boundary elements. As you're witnessing, in the middle of the shear wall, the percentage of longitudinal and transverse rebars is so much lower.